And we got a lot of questions today. Yep, I'm on my lunch break. No plantation duty today. But I do got a lot on my plate and a lot of things I want to discuss today in regards to this topic. I'm waiting for the brothers to come into the space. Waiting for the brothers to come into the space to have this conversation. I'm waiting for some more brothers to come up in the space before we get it cooking. Cause I got questions, right? Yeah, I got questions. I see people crashing out over this cracker in the mirror, right? They're crashing out, and these are women, right? They're saying that they can identify with this woman in the mirror, and I'm really starting to question that. Why do they see some type of partnership or camaraderie with these type of individuals, but won't see that with the black man? That's kind of one of the things I want to build upon, talk about in regards to this line of questioning, right? And why I'm holding this live. Why I'm holding this live. Because some of the things I've been seeing personally is very, very questionable. So if I can get some brothers up in here, they can slowly creep into this space in this live. Because I made this prompt based off of what they were saying. Because she's a woman, they can relate as women in regards to this situation. Versus their blackness. Right? And I have some issues with that. With women in our community, in our collective community, supporting that ideology, believing in that ideology, and uplifting that individual over our own people, right? Over our own people. For those that are coming in, I hope you like the prompt in the background. Took me a minute. It's a sister seeing this lady who unalived her children. They feel like they can relate to the postmortem of this Lindsay chick, right? And people think that this is acceptable way of thinking in black communities. And since when black women have ever thought it was okay to unalive their children? These are the questions I want to know, and I kind of need to have answers. And maybe the swirling black dudes got a point. Maybe they got a point. I don't know. I got questions here, damn it. I got questions here. Well, but in the meanwhile, I'm waiting for some of these brothers to come through. So we can build upon this conversation and have a conversation about the degeneracy. And why do some of the women in our community see what they feel is humanity with a white woman who unalived all her children? I think it's sick. I think that they need to condemn her, no different from her people, and do not go against the grain on something that does not impact them as black folks, right? That's kind of the reason why I want to have this conversation. My bad. In the 4-wheel wagon right now, and I wanted to just really briefly talk about this while I was just moving around. Please get the likes up. I need to get up to 1,000 or so likes, please. Please share this out. I really would appreciate that. Please share this out because we need to have this conversation. We need to really have this conversation. For real, for real. Oh, what's up, play? I'm glad that you came through, Mr. Esquire, sir. I'm definitely glad. You like the image. This image is bad, Joe. This is how I've been feeling based off the feminist and the anti-black rhetoric that I've been hearing on this TikTok app. For them caping and defending a woman who unalived her children. And I have questions in regards to how our black women, one, view themselves in society. Why do their principles aligning with this woman right here? I got a problem with that. But yet still, they're quick to call a black man a coon every single day of the week. How's it going today, Mr. Lawyer, sir? I'm glad that you are putting in a good fight. I be seeing some of your stuff. I like your content, player. I like your content. How you doing today, sir?
You're pretty good, man. No, yeah, I remember you told me that. Yeah, the image, what I've accepted, really, it's as black men, we have to be our biggest advocates because a lot of it is like still looking for approval. And a lot of these sisters, like, we've been conditioned to have them be the basis of what it means for us to have an identity. So that's why everything is like attached to them. But when you see them, like you would see any other black man, if there's a black man who was talking like, what you talk about, like the nuance, we say like this person is mentally colonized, sell out. It's really not too much of a positioning, right? It's just when it comes to our sisters, it's like the default is that they can't be colonized. So then it's like we're trying to backtrack it. But if you, in the spirit sense, I mean, a lot of them hate their hair. They're again, the ideologies that they practice have been used historically. That's documented by white supremacists. It's like it looks like a duck, sound like a duck, but we're saying it's like a cow, and it's like, you know.
I agree with you. When I look at this situation, I didn't realize how colonized our women really are, right? Because the projection based off of like Black Lives Matter, all these other things, that they're rah-rah for black men. They're rah-rah for black society. Heck, they're rah-rah because they said that they give birth to black life, right? And when you hear them advocating for ABs, aka abortions, when you see them advocating for women to say that they have a right to unalive them underneath the guise of having ovaries, I have a problem with that. I have a real issue with that because we're black people. My bad. Black people are the moral compass of this world, right? Black American folks. And if our women are not on that same moral trajectory, then what are we doing as a people? What are we saying as a people? And it pains me. I didn't catch that, good brother.
I interrupted.
Hmm?
I interrupted you.
No, you're fading in and out. I don't know what's going on, but
Okay.
you might not be close to your mic. Yeah, I can hear you better now.
Oh no, I had like interrupted, so it was like my bad.
No, you good. You get a hallway pass. You're a little higher than me on the education spectrum. I got only a master's degree, player. So you are a doctor of law. So that's half the reason why I brought you up, because we're even though we're at two different levels, we're at also two different vantage points of the legal system. You get what I'm saying? I'm more talk about the law enforcement aspect. Hmm?
Yeah, I would say outside of just even like qualifications, though, just beyond that, because brother, I've seen attorneys, judges that again would be in agreement with some of the discourse you see from some of our sisters, saying all kind of like problematic talking points. So we have to
Yeah.
make sure not to
Yeah.
like education is supposed to be as tools rather than as like markers for our like awareness.
No, I know where your marker is at. That's the reason why I said I have no problem with I know where you're. Not all, not everybody speaks on this panel. That's why I said I have no
Okay, I got
problem
you.
with you interjecting in regards to certain things. I kind of know what your stances are on certain things, and on top of that, you're an exemplary example of what black men should be striving for, right? So I got no, and especially you're a little bit young. You see the grays. I'm a little older. I'm about to be pushing 40. You're a little bit ways younger than me. I admire that. It gives me some hope.
I got you.
Give me some hope in this dead dying world.
No, yeah, I mean, just hear more
So
brothers hard work. So it's I have hope, understanding now like how bad it is. It literally can't get any worse in terms of like development. So seeing more brothers be vocal because it's like just being honest. That's like the first step. It's like just like come on, bro. You see it 1 + 1 = 2, and it's like nah, man. It's actually 8 because they don't want to like critique, black women. It's like you're not hating black women by defending yourself. So at least seeing more people be honest. That's that's always going to be progress.
yeah, but it's not hating. I'm gonna address that notion. It's not hating black women if you want to see them to do better so that our community can get better so we can advance as a people. What is hating black women is when you're unaliving them for no reason, when you're lying on them for no reason, doing things to actually undermine the development of our community. Those are the things that will be undermining. But calling them out on certain behaviors that could impact us as a society, causing a genocide, causing an ethnocide to our people. When they're talking about AB, talking about black women thinking it's okay to unalive their children. And it kind of leads into that mindset. I'm a little bit older. They'll say, I brought you into this world, I could take you out. Have you heard that saying? I know that's an old black saying. Okay. So, and this normally stems from the mother. The father, he might say it every once in a while, but it's normally on the mother side of the track that says that type of rhetoric. And it was meant to, at that time frame, to install fear, to let the child know that there's some type of hierarchy. He said the father said too. Yeah, the father does say it, but I've seen mothers do it and act upon it more. I've seen mothers do it and act upon it more. Play it. I'm just saying.
I think the father part. I mean, like you said, it's the understanding of power, and I would say a lot of our sisters don't understand power. So it's like when it comes to raising a child, like you can get beat up like an 11-year-old. So like their mindset, if they live off of fear, it's like okay, I got it. The worst case, I can end your life. When there's like a man there, you can kind of like process of like he's a bigger person, bigger threat, etc. And then also too, like as a man, if you're talking like that, you're they can engage in violence. So there's still like to be a boundary of your son won't engage in violence against their mother, even if their mother is abusive, even if she's disrespectful. But there's still a thing of like if a father has that thing of like, hey, I'm willing to take your life. Hey, you create that environment, your son gonna take you out, right? And that's not like something that's like not possible, right? So it's like yeah, our culture does have hesitation. Black men taking each other's lives, so a father's gonna be a little more hesitant on that.
Yeah, and I agree with you entirely on that. Well, for those that are coming into this live, I see that you see this nice, beautiful image I created, right? And what I've been seeing is black women taking up on thoughts of the oppressor woman. Our women, you had a black woman created a book called "They Were Her Property," right? "They Were Her Property" was discussing the fact of how palm-colored women in the American society has enslaved, have engaged in debauchery, and have done horrific crimes against the black community when it comes down to the Negro Black American community, when it comes down to human rights violation, atrocities, genocides, list goes on and on. The thing that concerns me personally is that women in our community are taking on the talking points of this woman right here, thinking that they're going to get the same luxury as that woman, as if they're Mrs. Cartwright. And I have an issue with that because there was many black women who might have unalived their children, not on purpose, and they were given and receiving jail time. They were given and receiving jail time because they were a black woman. Because you see the black in front. They ain't see no that you're a woman. That's the reason why Sojourner Truth said, "Ain't I a woman?" That was the premise of why she said that in the first place, because she noticed that she was not being treated as a woman. What's your thoughts on that, Mr. Esquire? To start laying down this foundation in regards to this topic here in this picture right here.
Which part specifically?
I didn't catch that. Oh no, just whatever you want to discuss in regards to this topic or what was said so far. We're just gonna build it brick by brick.
Okay, yeah, I won't be here too long, but I mean, foundational wise, I think it's a lot of the like second wave feminist approach. So, like you said, many sisters are living vicariously through white women, and what I've experienced, at least online, sometimes when I'm having discourse around like within my group, some white women would take offense to it. And it's like I'm doing an exorcism, and then like a ghost of a white woman coming out, and it's like, okay, I see, because like they're using black women in terms of like supporting other causes, right? So then if like we have this moral positioning of like, hey, if a black woman says this or does this, that means we're on like the right side, and you see other groups taking advantage of that. So I think of like even the previous election with the whole like 92%, that they were basically an image for like the genocide in Gaza for like the Biden administration. So then they're using black faces to like downplay some of the worst like crimes. So it's like the same type of democratic liberal like feed into our ego, feed into their usage, and then no substance like for us. So we provide the grunt work, be the soldiers, but then the back end nothing happens. So like you said, like many sisters aren't going to have the same type of support from their white counterparts in terms of yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt. I have a question for you. Do you think the 92% look like this picture right here? The 92%.
Yeah.
Let me back so people get a visual.
In terms of what, like just a
do 92% think? Yeah, that's a black woman right there, looking in the mirror, and she sees the woman that's unaliving her children, and they're making excuses, justifications. So I had that image drawn up as a black woman right there on the left, who looks in the mirror and she sees her. Because every time I come online, I hear these women defending this monster who unalived her baby monsters, her children, right? And they try to say, well, it's because we're women and it's post-mortem. And I think that's a load of crap. I'm gonna just keep it real. It's a load of crap. The woman, that woman doesn't care or value about life, and she didn't want to see her children be happy with her husband. And it sounded like there was some animosity with that. And this is no way me, shape, and form caping for these white folks. I got my own issues. My concern is the women in our community taking up these talking points to support a woman like this, to okay something like this in our neighborhood. That's what I'm more or less worried about. To get the angle where I'm coming from. You can go ahead and speak, Brother Esquire, and your thoughts on that, and then I'm gonna introduce my brother Dukes, and we're gonna get this rocking.
No, yeah, I mean, I can see the concern on that for sure. That's why, I mean, certain things are going to be liberal feminists. You can kind of like the archetype of the type of people who are going to like follow that type of like rhetoric. I mean, for the most part, I mean, it's just, I feel like an accumulation of just a general like liberal type of dynamic. I feel like it's just like climax. So when I'm saying like the 92%, you have to understand we're deemed the good side, right? I like the liberal left, that's deemed the good side, and they were downplaying G side. There's no more like moral high horse you can have without like engaging in further delusion. So to see then like again the women, more liberal ones, again downplaying like this person really didn't unalive her kid, it's something else. It's in that same lens of like your feelings can triumph reality, and that's where a lot of them are operating under.
You wanna hear something funny to that, and then I'm gonna go to my man Duke. Is when they, excuse me, got something in my teeth. They always said something about white women tears and how white women tears has been weaponized in our society for a very long time that resulted in the unaliving of black men, strange fruiting of black men. I kind of see the same parallel going on here when they take on this woman's talking points. Now it's targeting our children. Now it's targeting the ones that can't defend themselves. And I have a strong issue with that from a moralistic standpoint. There's certain codes that black men have, Negro men have. You don't attack the elderly, right? That's something that we don't do as a collective. We don't attack the children. That's something that we co-sign as a collectively that in the majority that we don't operate in. We don't do that. You like Brother Tariq says something that was very true. You can go to anywhere in the United States, and you can go to any black neighborhood. You ask for a child, for whatever that might be, you might end up getting yourself killed, unalived. You might get yourself unalived in a black neighborhood because we don't do that type of situation. But you can go to any four corners of the globe, no matter if it's in Africa, no matter if it's Asia, no matter if it's or wherever it might be, Europe, they're willing to sell something, if you get what I mean. And to see our women take on the ideologies of the oppressor of this woman and think it's acceptable behaviors, I got a problem. And maybe the passport bros, maybe these other people, they might have a valid point. I might not agree with their methods, how they want to solve things, but maybe they have a valid point on why they're disgusted with some of the people in our community and they fed up. You can go ahead, Brother Duke.
Hey, how y'all brothers doing this afternoon?
What's up, man? What's your thoughts on the topic? You see the prompt? You see who I'm talking about?
What's the topic?
Okay,
basically
so
about I heard about this woman, Lindsay Clancy.
Yeah, this is the Lindsay Clancy chick right here. AI. This is AI. This is a black sister. I've been seeing a lot of black feminists and black women. I see you later, lawyer man. I'll holler at you soon.
Yeah, I seen a lot of black
women
so basically
defending this.
They're saying, right. Basically,
and I'm saying that this is how they look. I'm saying this is how they look right now. Let me move.
Yeah, but that's a certain group. That's a certain group of black women call themselves feminists. I seen they saying this woman suffered from postpartum psychosis. Yeah. So it was a black lady that was from her area, because this happened in Massachusetts. So
yeah,
this black lady, she unalived I think two to three of her children, and she didn't get the same outcome and the same treatment as they given this YT lady. So that's the dangerous part about it. Like they advocating for whoever is the black ones that is advocating.
We can't hear you, player. I don't know what you're doing. Duke, you on the road, player?
Can you hear me?
You can't hear me. Yeah, we can hear you now. I don't know what you were doing. We can hear you now.
I think I got bad reception. Bad reception. You hear me now?
Yeah.
Yeah, but they ain't gonna give the black women the same grace as they giving this YT woman. So I think it's kind of dangerous to be okay in what she did, because we go through, a lot of black women go through things, but they don't never unalive their kids. So this is one of their weaknesses that the YT woman have, when she can't handle things. They just go ahead and unalive her children and make it seem like it's a mental health problem. So I think she get they're handling her with kid gloves.
Can we slow that part down real quick for 2 seconds? It's a predominantly palm colored culture for them to do ritualistic killing where they unlive their whole family, right? And I give an example. There was a family that I used to live back in the Highlands. This is like 30 plus years ago when I was a child. There was this one white palm colored girl. We used to walk home to school, whatever. I lived in a very diverse neighborhood. And her father, they were called the Pickles. You can look it up, Ledger, Connecticut. This man wiped out his whole family. And that showed me that this is a palm colored issue. This is a palm colored behavior. Not a black American, not even just confined to palm colored women. No, this is their culture and how they
You
feel.
remember Chris Benoit? You remember Chris Benoit on
Yeah,
wrestling?
the Canadian cripple. The
Yeah, he
Canadian
did the
cripple.
same thing.
Yeah.
He unalived
And,
his
and
whole
you see,
family.
wait. And you see how he's still glorified to this day. You see how he's
Right.
still glorified to this day. So this shows to me that this is acceptable behavior from their culture. I don't want our women replicating negative things from their culture and imprinting it into our culture. So it's a very deep conversation here for what I'm seeing. And it's not just the ones that identify as feminists too. It's women that that do have feminist leaning, liberal leanings, who are putting, you got women that won't even acknowledge that they're feminists, that are leaning onto this talking point now. Because they're leaning on the guys, well, she's just a woman.
But
I'm
now
a
they
woman
saying,
too.
I don't know if
You
you're
kind of see where I'm
aware.
coming with that?
Yeah, I don't know if you're aware, but a lot of people saying that it was Patrick, it was the husband. So a lot of them trying
It's
to
not.
say
It's
that.
not. That's already been debunked.
Yeah, but you
But I
hear,
am aware.
but
I'm aware that they try to blame the white tea
yeah, I
fathers.
hear a lot of white tea women saying that it was Patrick.
No, it was not. They have genetic. They not genetic. They had GPS markers, and they also triangulated with his phone. It wasn't him, and it had it down to a minute. The times are not matching up. But I'm not here to get involved in white people and their disputes with each other. What I'm talking about is black women and some black men underneath the guise of misandry imprinting this white issue into our community. This is the same thing that they did with feminism. This is the same thing they did with other anti-black behavior that has impacted the advancement of our people. We out here saying we want voting rights for black men. They say, well, we want all women. We want everybody. And as a result, it has hurt our advancement. Like, these are some of the things that I'm talking about where they have almost held the black community hostage as a result of that. They actually held the community hostage from advancing. And that's what I'm seeing here with this issue. And why am I concerned, Brother Duke? They're bringing an imported culture, ideology, and mindset into black society. The floor is yours, Brother Duke.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. They're bringing different type of ideologies into our community. Different, just like the rainbow. Just like don't hit your children, don't hit them. You know what I'm saying? We starting to take on their ideologies. We eating like them. We didn't used to eat out like that. I remember my grandma used to look up, like, you bring fast food to the house, they look down upon that. They're like, boy, you eating them.
Preach. You cut out, Brother Duke. You cut out, Brother Duke. I'm gonna wait for him to get back on, but he is hitting on some points in regards to some of the imported culture into our community. You back on, Brother Duke?
Yeah, I had a phone call, my bad. But yeah, they
I know you
I
on.
mean,
I know you doing your thing.
but that's what it is. We just keep taking on their ideologies. They keep beating it over our head till we start to accept this. You know what I'm saying? Now we scared to hit our kids. We scared to say no to rainbow shit. We scared. It's like they punking us. And if you just they putting on to making it normalized now. So if you go against it, they look at you as an outcast, and that's the way things are becoming in our community. So you got to keep fighting back because they're gonna keep doing it.
Can we slow Can we slow that part down about looking like an outcast? Didn't they say that black men that have conservative values are the white people of black society? Is that what that was said in these TikTok and these internet streets? Have you heard about that being pushed through?
Yeah. I heard about that.
Okay, so it's kind of like the similar thing of what you're talking about when we have these discussions and when we're talking about our expectation and our standard, it gets demonized. It gets disrespected because because this is the effects of what I consider the Dred Scott decision effect. I don't have to respect the rights of a Negro and a Black American person. I don't have to respect anything that comes from it. That includes your standards, your principles, what you're living for, and what you are willing to unalive for. I don't have to respect for that. As a matter of fact, I'm going to install these BS principles, my principles right here, into your mind. And I think that there was a picture that the NOI had where I forgot the term that it's called Negro Peen. That was the term that they used. You probably heard Dr. Umar use the term. The NOI used that term. And they'll open up the mind, the skull cap of the black man, right? And they will dump white ideology into the mindset of that mind. But he still got black. This is the same thing. And when I hear sisters, and I'm using sisters quote loosely, when I see women like this in our community, okaying what this woman's doing here right here, we have a bigger problem and a bigger moral issue. And people will get mad at me when I say this. When black women were believing in Christianity or believing in the other faiths, which is like the NOI, the Muslim faith, they weren't okaying this nonsense. But when they started picking up this African spirituality, this witchcraft stuff, I've been seeing a lot of this sacrificial behavior. I've been seeing a lot of disrespect towards black life. And I would rather for them to be Christian. I would rather for them to be cornered as a Christian than to pick up what they're picking up now. That's how I kind of feel about this now.
Yeah, it's just about believing in something. You know, when you start believing in God and start believing in things and start going into the white man's ideologies, you start falling into the devil's trap. So, I mean, it ain't even about being a Christian. It's about just believing in what's good, believing in what's right. We know what's right and we know what's good. But we got, certain people, entities that invest in money to keep us thinking the way they want us to think. And when that's why the first thing they do is make it where you can't discipline your kids. Because your kids, you can't discipline and touch your kids. And you know what I'm saying? That's a big problem. Because now you can't enforce nothing. You know what I'm saying? You see how they're trying to make it? It's different from when we was growing up. Negro, things are different. These parents is like our age now. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you there?
Yeah, I'm right here. I know I agree with you in regards to because that was a way of them trying to control our households. They've learned that the civil rights movement, it was households, it was blocks, neighborhoods, communities, etc. that was built upon, that had a form of unity. That is the reason why they said that that Negro unity was more stronger than black power itself, because Negro unity is black power. If you want to really break that down, Negro unity is black power, because it's our strength and our unity is what's given us our strength. Black Panthers have talked about this. Other groups have talked about this. Our unity is our strength. There ain't no doubt about it. And when I see this type of behavior being perpetuated in our community socially through the guise of social media as acceptable behavior, I think that this is very divisive. I think it's very anti-black. I think it's very not like us. Hashtag, y'all want to use hashtag not like us. This is a good time to use that. Hashtag not like us. This right here. Not like us. But, people ain't got the heart or the stomach to do that. Because they care about what's trending and what's popular. Oh, you can go ahead, brother. Dude.
No, shit. I'm just agreeing 100%. I agree with you. You know, it's a system. You know, they put laws in place and things like that. But there's ways you can work around it. You know, so we just gotta work around things like that. Don't let them control your household and how you want to raise your kids because they want to really raise your kids. They want to raise your kids. So that's why they implement these laws and stuff like that.
I gotta push. They don't want to raise our kids. They want to punish our children. Let me break that down.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I remember my father used to say to my brother and some of my people, that swirling shit is becoming more um and more popular. I get what you're saying. If you can you go up and share what you mean, brother? Because what do you mean by swirling? Because I look at swirling right here. There's a swirling right here. Swirling of ideologies, swirling of beliefs and structures, swirling that this woman thinks that she has something in common with this woman right here. Swirling starts in the mind before it even gets sexual. Swirling actually starts in the mind. It starts about what you would support, what you encourage, and what you believe in. So swirling starts here, and it starts right here. I don't know where it starts at for you. But if you're more than welcome to come up and talk about what you want to talk about in regards to this topic, I would love for a brother to come up and have this conversation. I would love for black women to come up. What's your thoughts on seeing black women on these apps acting just like this picture right here? Let me move myself out the way. Acting like this woman right here. What's your thoughts on that? Please pick up the line. But back to what I was saying. My father used to say that if I don't punish you, society's gonna punish you, and they're just waiting for you to turn 18 so they can keep you in life in prison. Have you heard something similar like that, Duke? Coming up as a young man?
Yeah, I have some similarities.
Okay. So see, these are old Negro black American sayings, and these are some of the things that they were telling us so that we could be above approach in regards to our interaction when it comes down to law enforcement. When it comes down to how society views us and why we need to move in a certain manner in order to protect self-preservation in our community and society so that we can have a person that look like us from futures and beyond. That's the reason why I wanted to have this conversation in regards to when people saying that this is a new day and age, that y'all are stuck in the ways in the past. It's what's the past is what's got us here. It's what's the past that's going to keep us here and protect us here and push us into the future. I don't see this new strategy that these women are picking up and black folks are picking up as going to advance us as a people, as a lineage, and the list goes on and on. That's the reason why I'm having this conversation in regards to women, specifically women in our community, picking up the torch for other women who will never do anything to help your children. They won't help your children to read. You see, the school system ain't nothing but palm-colored women. Ain't nothing but palm-colored women. So I'm just keeping it real with y'all. I could point to other incidents where they will not teach your child how to do math. Our children, our black young boys and girls are last in math. They won't tell you your real history because now you're indicting them. That's what they said. So everything that they're supporting, this woman is against whatever you're trying to do to liberate your people. My question is, do some of the black women in our society feel like they're on an island onto their own? Do they think that they're separate and apart from black society? Because some of the things I've been hearing ever since the Ice Cube thing, where Ice Cube saying black people, they said no, we need something specifically for black women. That's what I heard. So when I see this, I see that this colonized mindset, this this plantation mindset. Oh yeah, she's guilty. She guilty. She guilty. If they say Carmelo guilty, then she's underneath the jail cell. Heck, you might as well just give her a lethal injection. That's the type of time I'm on. And any women that want to follow the way of the dodo, go ahead and do that. We don't need you in black society. We really don't. We're better off not having you around. That's kind of the things that I'm trying to talk about here. I see a lot of black women in the chat. If black women want to hop onto this thing, I want to hear what your thoughts are in regards to this topic. Are y'all one of these women that think that it's good to be going in the way of the white dodo? Please let a brother know. Let a brother know so I can block you after we had this conversation. Like, we need to really have a conversation here, because I've seen a lot of these women on this app putting their ovaries over their black skin. And keep in mind, the ovaries are smaller than they are. She said, heck no. Hey, Sean C., this is what I've been seeing. This is what I've really honestly been seeing. Uh-oh, I got a phone call. Wait one second. I gotta shoot. That's what I wanted to really talk about and really build upon in this conversation. Sorry about the brief thing. I know it's heck no, but this is what I've been seeing, Sister Sean. If you want to come up and talk with a player, you can, sis. You can, sis. Because I definitely want to hear what you got to say about this.
Yeah, brother. What's going on, man? Yeah. She's scary. That's one scary situation we're in right now. She's going to get away with it, though. And we got to brace ourselves. She's going to get away. She's part of the demographic of impunity. That you ever notice, none of them can ever do anything to break the law. They never break the law. There's always some psychological backdrop that more or less justifies their illegal actions, immoral actions, their terrible actions. So, and it comes out of that same feminist mindset that they've been trying to pour into the black demographic, that they want us to adapt their struggle and their lack of morals, their lack of purity and intent. They're the ones, they're trying to pour that into us. But you see, the ultimate end is they want to go from merely deleting the unborn to justifiably eliminating those who already have been born. This is the next step for the white woman, for the white liberal feminist. And she is definitely a poster child for that.
Well, okay. I'm gonna circle back around to you, brother. But I definitely want to hear what's. This is my first sister on the panel. How you doing today? What's your thoughts on this topic and this conversation so far?
Hi, how you doing, Delineation, and everyone in the chat, and everyone on the online. I really do not come up, but since you invited, I'm at work, but I wanted to speak on this.
I don't want you to get in trouble on the job now.
No, I'm okay. Thank you. But you are absolutely correct with that. And I have seen it too, unfortunately. It's been something that's been done intentionally and to stifle our community and, and our power as a people.
What you think about this picture? Do you think this picture is telling of what we seeing here? Do you think that you see some of the black women on this app? Like, these are the same black women. Some of these black women will call a black man a coon, rightfully so, for messing with white women and not supporting black people and this, that, and the third. But when it comes to women that embrace ideologies like her, it's acceptable. And what's your thoughts on that as a black woman?
Let's see, again, it is very troubling. And again, I've seen it, unfortunately, not just online, but in person. and I think that women who think like that, um, they're like they are the downfall of us, and so and so it's just letting more and more degeneracy and to our community. So that's my thoughts on it. But yeah,
Do you
it's just
and
very
you wouldn't
troubling.
trust these? I have a question before we I'll move on to the next person. You wouldn't trust that woman
Mhm.
nowhere near your children, right? If you
Oh
have any.
no, I wouldn't even want to have her as a friend. I've actually lost a lot of friends that had the same mindset. And it is what it is. I can't keep people around because you basically the company that you keep, and I'm not down with that at all.
Know what, sister? You gained a new friend. How about that? We see a friend
Oh,
in you.
thank you.
Good brothers and good people will see a friend in you, and you'll gain what will be what was lost. My bad. You'll gain what was lost. So don't ain't no sweat, baby. Ain't no sweat, and
Oh,
don't let that deter
thank
you
you.
from standing on your
Oh
square.
no.
Because I know a lot of y'all sisters get targeted and bullied by these type of women into submission, into supporting these type of values.
Right.
I
Yeah,
see it,
we
and
get
I don't like it.
isolated.
Yeah, you get isolated, you get disrespected, you get ganged up on. Trust me, brother man sees it. I don't approve of it at all. That ain't a good look. So trust me, there's brothers out there that see what's going on. Like they say, you lose friends, but you'll gain even one. And if you're a follower of Christ too, you got one of the mightiest friends too. But I don't want to get too biblical though. But I really do appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
No problem. Absolutely. 100%. And thank you guys for what you guys are doing. Keep talking about these, and because we out here listening, it's just that some people, they are afraid. I think somebody had mentioned that people they're afraid uh, to say certain things. So just keep being our voice, and I appreciate you a lot. I'm gonna hop off now. Thank you for letting
Yep,
me come
yep.
up.
You have a good day at work. I hope everything goes out well. Stay strong.
Okay, thank you. You too. You have a good one. I'll continue to listen.
Um,
Bye bye.
yep, yep. Brother H. Um, I don't know how to pronounce your name, but I think it's hypothesis.
Well, yeah, man. I'm all with it. It's just for me, this it's a general thing. It hasn't really changed. All this article has done, this situation has done, is just brought more of the truth to the forefront. If she gets away with this, it's going to mark a terrible turning point for the whole issue. The whole thing's going to be
Oh,
totally.
wait, so now we're gonna play devil's advocate. Now, if this ends up going the way of the dodo, right? And when I mean going the way of the dodo, where she is allowed to get off and this, that, and the third, I think it sets a bad legal precedent that can go drastically wrong in black society, where you might have an incident where a black man wants to keep his children, he want to raise his children. This woman snaps and she unalives the children, and she
Well,
gets away with it.
that could be one of the
That's
things,
a
but the problem that we have with that,
I'm no, but I'm just looking at it strictly from our vantage point.
yeah, from our point of
I
view,
don't
right?
want to
From our
dibble dabble into the dominant society's world
Yeah.
about that.
Well, I'm just saying, look at it right now. Black fathers are not organizing themselves to push for fathers' rights. At this point, we should have long done it for over a couple of decades ago. We should have already organized fathers and said, hey, look, fathers' rights. 50% of our DNA is in the process. We got 50% of the voice as to whether or not this child survives. And remember, for a man is the one who really gets the advantage on having children. A woman brings the child into the world, but she brings the child into the world for the father. It's the father. His name goes forward into eternity through the children. And by cutting off these children, by flushing and deleting these children, you cut off the man's legacy, and you also you cut off a man's drive to succeed. My father's drive to succeed was to leave a legacy for his sons and daughters. My drive to succeed is to leave a legacy for my sons and daughters and grandkids. So my drive. But if we had a house full of women who are ready to delete the unborn, There's no reason for me to work hard and establish a new institution. There's not going to be anybody to inherit it. There's no reason. Why? Because she has said that, well, mass deletion is health care for me. When I flush your unborn baby down the toilet, I'm taking care of me. I'm looking out for black women everywhere by flushing black babies down the toilet. And so and they're pushing it at these rallies, these Democratic rallies. You got to watch out. The DSA, the Democratic Socialists of America, remember, they're ready to launch now. And you can guarantee the fuel in their gas tank is black people, black babies, black boys and girls. The DSA plans to use us as rocket fuel to get to the next planet. That's what the DSA is planning.
That's very deep that you bring up about the Democratic Socialist Party, right? And their dangers of that. When it comes down to one of the things that was said in one of the Red Pill Lives, shout out to my man 6'4", right? One of the things that we were talking about is saying that, well, there needs to be a mechanism where they can take the children away from the mother who's doing these type of things. I told them straight up flat, in the system that we're in, they're going to come up with every excuse to destabilize black homes as a result of that. They won't do it to the people that actually need that in our society. They're going to do the exact opposite and destabilize well-productive families with the intentions of decimating our numbers.
Yeah, that's the whole point.
And the thing is, for people, unfortunately, in our community to think that the system is going to have any type of justice to us, then if they really think that way, why are you talking about reparations? That will be my argument to them. What is the need for you to talk about reparations, restorative justice, just any of that?
You don't need any of that. And you don't need it, especially for a shrinking population. Listen, I'm gonna let you. I owe you $20 trillion. But you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna hold my breath long enough for you to eliminate yourselves. You got your boys out there eliminating each other. We mass incarcerating you. Oh, and now your girls, your women are flushing your unborn kids down. Keep going. Yeah. Let's keep talking about reparations, y'all. Yeah, keep talking about and there'll be less and less and less of you until you're finally extinct. And then we're going, oh, you know what? We was going to pay them. We was going to pay them, but they self-destructed. What happened to them? They self-destructed. They self-deleted. And now, even though they owe us $20 trillion, well, yeah, we were going to pay them, but you know how it is, colored folk. You know, they went out there and they just, they eliminated each other. What can we do now? It's not on us now. And they'll use that $20 trillion for something else. They're just waiting for us to self-delete. That's what they're waiting for. And they found the key. If you can get black women to participate in the deletion of the unborn and the suppression of manhood, man, black masculinity, you punch down on that. Black boys running around in dresses, wearing skinny jeans and long braids. They can't throw a punch, so they pull a trigger. It's really bad news out there right now. A bunch of punks, sissies, just running the streets, fully armed like the Taliban. Yeah, it's crazy out there, and hey, and white women, they pushed it. They're the ones who actually advocated for it. White feminists actually pushed this. They're the ones who set it up. Now it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. They don't have to really push about it anymore. When was the last time you saw a Triple K rally? They don't need it no more. They don't need it no more.
It's the craziest thing about it is that I see in this picture here is how do we come this far where the women in our community think that they're this type of woman?
Yeah.
That's just the like. Let's really talk about. Now, you about to get me comfortable. Let me get.
And just so, brother, you really touched on it. When a black woman looks in the mirror, she sees a white face. You gotta understand that. And if black men, young black men, have got to understand that about black women today. When black women look in the mirror, they see a white face. They don't speak to you as a woman speaking. She speaks to you as a white woman speaking to you. Listen to her tone. Look at her posture. Look at her attitude. Her attitude is, I'm white, you're black, I'm superior. You will do what I say. That is the black woman's posture today. She's not speaking to you as a black woman. She's speaking to you as a white woman. And if you come up against her, guess what? She'll sick Becky on you and you'll be done.
No, she don't just sick Becky on you. She'll sick the police on you. She'll sick legal team on you. She'll sick the school counselor on you. She'll sick any institution or institutional or structural things no different from the dominant society. And we have to be very honest about, it's not all of them, but it's a good chunk of y'all that be engaging in this and thinking it's acceptable behavior. And in return, it's hurting the advancement of our people. And it's almost like the saying that the phrase that they keep saying, well, you guys didn't fight hard enough. Well, stop putting up stumbling blocks in the way then, heifer. Like, because that's all I see. Y'all putting up obstacles in front of the main obstacle of palm color supremacy.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, though. We as men,
You can't make this stuff
the
up.
the men have to take responsibility, though. It is men, and young guys aren't being taught this. Look, fellas, you set the standard for a relationship. Let me say that again. If you're a man, especially a black man, you and you alone set the standard for a relationship. You determine whether or not a relationship is going to start or not. You do that. You're not looking to qualify. Am I okay? Am I handsome enough? Am I tall enough? Am I short enough? Do I have enough? No, that's irrelevant. You are the man. You're going to find a woman worthy to sit at your table. You see, now that's the key of the posture. And you got to realize that when you're building that table, you're not building that table for another man's seed. Like, hold up, you can't sit at my table. Who's that with you? Oh, that's Ray, Trayvon, Dial-In, and well, who are they? Well, their fathers, from across the way. You're not building a table for them. You see, and that's the problem that young men don't understand. You build the table and you determine who sits there. Okay, you got to be a man about this. And you're not. And guess what? And you might look for a woman, and because you're visual, you might say, "Well, I like that woman." Well, she might not. She might not be wanting to talk to you. So what? Move to the next one. Move to the next one. But never act like you're qualifying to be with her. She must qualify to be with you. That's the correct posture. She's supposed to sit at your table. I tell young men all the time, never move in with your girlfriend. Let her move in with you. If anybody gonna move, she moves in with you. You're the head of household. But if you move in with her, she's head of household. You become her subordinate. It's automatic. Never move in with your girlfriend. That's ridiculous. She's head of household. There's no way she's going to be cooperating, submitting to you, and she's the one with her name's on the lease, her name's on the utilities, her name's on all the bills. No. She's got to move in with you. Let her shut down what she's doing to get with you. Now you know you're the man. Okay? Nobody has even said it. You're the man. What? That's your house. That's your insurance. That's your car. That's your stuff. It's your lease. That's in your name. That's how you maintain manhood. Posture is everything.
Fact. I definitely been trying to get more women to thank you for the gifts, Sean C. I really do appreciate that. First and foremost, thank you, sweetheart, for that. I've been trying to at women and get them onto the guests onto the panel because I've seen a lot of these women talking online, yickety yakety yakety yit. And I want them to really explain this, how they feel.
But
Shout
do you
out to
have a
Sister
prompt?
Sean.
You need to come up with a good, catchy prompt for the women. Well, she is the prompt, but explain what it is. In your prompt, you need to put it in there.
So basically, I have a regular black woman right here. And this is the woman, Lacey, that we're talking about, that's in Massachusetts right now for unaliving. When I hear women in our community, online, socially, and whatever, defending this woman, this is the picture that's in my mind. I see a woman looking in the mirror and they see relations with this type of woman. They have a partnership and an understanding with that woman in the mirror, not their black counterpart. Did y'all hear the good news about Carmela Anthony? I'm so happy I'm dancing on the ceiling. If you can you come up and share that, brother? Can you share that, brother? You're more than welcome to tell that to the public because I've heard some things, I heard some other things. So if you can come up and share that with us publicly, that would be greatly appreciated. I'm gonna send you the mic one more time. But yeah, excuse. That better not be a Jesse Lee Peterson. Man, you got a Jesse Lee Peterson. You got a coon. You got a coon as your profile. Should I trust you? Should I trust you? Let me stop, yo. Yeah, I tried to tell him please share. I gave him a mic. Hey, I just don't know if he was trying to throw off the room. But back to the topic at hand. This image right here is the things that's going on in my mind as a black man when I hear black women supporting, encouraging, and thinking. And please get the likes up. I need to get some likes into this because right now I got 492 likes and we only got five to three of us.
Let me chat. Let me at least get to 1,000 likes, man. Let me at least actually do that.
Yeah, because this is. I guess they just mad because it's me that's having this conversation. I don't know.
It's just you.
It is like, yeah, it's just me, I guess.
No, man. I mean, it's a pertinent program, but the thing is, we just got to look out and you're right. You want to find out, how do black women feel about this? Is it postpartum depression? Is it was she premeditative? Was she psychotic at the time? The psychological experts say no. Some say yes. What?
My thing is that it's for them to use that as an excuse just off the fact that she's a woman and that they can relate to her based off the fact that she's a woman. But when back in the day, I would say this all the way up to the 70s maybe, there was an understanding that they were a black woman and that their issues is not their issue, or their issues is their issues and their issues is their issues, and it was clearly defined as such, right?
Right.
There was a stark line of separation and understanding when it came to that. This day and age, you got women that think that they have something in common with this woman in the mirror.
And they might.
That's
First of all, she's a woman. Second, she's a mother. The third, she's subject to the pressures of patriarchy. Let's look at that. The pressures of patriarchy. She might have identity crisis. She might not have liked being a woman under the present patriarchal system. There's political reasons. She just felt hopeless given the current circumstances. There are a number of factors that contributed to her psychological state when she committed this terrible, heinous act against her children. And besides, they were just children. Now, they're not really looking at advocating for children's rights, children's advocacy, children being minors, dependent upon their parents for their livelihood. Without looking at it, they're really looking at it from the mother's perspective. Look at all the white women that are standing out in front of the courtroom, out front of the courthouse, protesting, supporting her, standing in solidarity. We're with you. We understand that men have vilified women. That they don't understand how we work and how we work and how we operate.
Wait. Let's talk about that. And they love, when they talk about men, they love to throw black men underneath the bus as if we co-sign those type of things.
Oh yeah, well that's
the other thing that I want to address too, because being black men, we do not have the same rights and the same authority as the white man.
We've never had the pull. We've never had that influence. We've never been part of the patriarchy, and nor have we even benefited from quote unquote the patriarchy as it sits today. But we understand now that's from a material. Now, from a completely metaphysical and spiritual standpoint, there's a whole nother reason for it. But without getting religious, just suffice it to say that black men, we are wrongfully being dragged in. But again, due to illiteracy, due to lack of information, ignorance, etc., self-hate, white women have exploited the self-hate within the black demographic and said, look, if we can get black women to really agree with us that black men and white men, there's really no difference except skin color, that black men somehow participate in the colonization of the world, the conquest of the world, the trepidations of the system, that black men played an equal role with white men. If we can get black women to believe that. And so that's come to the problem. And that's why now any black man who stands up and says he has his own business, or he's doing well in life, they call him a sellout. He's part of the patriarchy. He's part of the problem that we're having here. They want socialism where black men are quiet and and submissive, and where women take the lead in social programs. Big government comes and pays all the bills and tells everybody what to do. So this is a problem. It's a major issue, and if we were more attuned to black issues, black experience, we wouldn't be under the influence of these white women. But like you said, you're doing the right thing. You're trying to find out, what do black women think? Do black women support this white woman destroying her own children and then copping out on a psychological reason?
And the thing is, my thing is, do they really think that there is a justifiable psychological reason? I think there's no psychological reason on this God-given earth. Period. If you're doing that, you're mentally disturbed, you're demonic, you're evil, etc. And you deserve a tombstone, lethal injection, electric shock, all the above, right? You deserve everything bad that's happened to you.
Yeah, there's no reason.
Because it's no reason for you to take your frustration out and end up fatally harming a child.
Yeah.
See, that's the Negro Black American standard. Stop. We don't have this standard right here. This standard allows debauchery to children, assaulting of children, all types. Hell, they even eat children. They have done it. So is that the standard we're going by, black women? Like, that's kind of the things that I'm trying to really touch upon here, based off of what I've been hearing on these various different social media platforms. And then when you answer these and have these type of questions, you don't get the engagement from the women in the community to really gauge how much of a threat it really is in our community. Maybe some of these swirling brothers do have a point. I might not agree with it, but maybe they do got a point. I don't know. But they're not offering any comforting thoughts to make us question, you get what I'm saying? The validity of the situation. So
Yeah, they're not really going to be that interested until the verdict. Some of them might discuss it, but the truth is, guilty or not, do you really think she was aware? Do we understand as men? Because they might say that as men we don't understand.
No, she was aware, because, like, my arguments is like this: is like, if you're telling your husband to go to somewhere while you do a horrific crime, unaliving those children, that's premeditated to me. That's premeditated. She already thought about this a long time ago. She was just waiting on the time and the opportunity to act upon it, and what she could think that she can get away with it. And it sounded like this man was a good man. What I've noticed is that outside of the racial aspect, when there's a decent guy or whatever who's trying to do right by his family and children, some of these women become very resentful of that, to the point that they're willing to unalive their children to seek retribution against that man. The worst thing you can ever do to a man is destroy his legacy. Let me repeat that again. The worst thing that you could ever do to a man is destroy his legacy so he doesn't have anything. Imagine coming to the house and he ain't got nobody to come back home to. No wife and none of the children that he helped produce. That's crazy work. Well, and you got women advocating for this? Really, really advocating for this. And what's your thoughts on that?
That's the natural extension of feminism. We have to understand how feminism works and what its objective, its mission statement. One of its missions is the dissolution of the nuclear family. The nuclear family is the enemy of feminism. It says that basically the nuclear family, the traditional husband, wife, children family, is suppressive to women. It's oppressive to women. It's the equivalent of indentured servitude for women, because the only people that seem to really want that are men who are doing what? Trying to build a legacy for their work, for our achievements. For our achievements in the world, we pass it along to our children. And those children come through the women we select. And this is the problem. We're not choosing correctly. Now, the guy who married her, I'm sure he thought at the time, but I'm not sure how we can do it. I'm not sure how to vet people these days. Maybe use AI and do a background check and do a profile, psychological profile. Is this a good wife? Is this a good husband? Is this a good person? Should I be in a relationship with this person, given their background? And AI might be able to say, nah, you know what? I did a background. I went to all their websites and some of the opinions they hold. Not a good match for you. Maybe you can start using AI for that. doing backgrounds on people. Yeah,
You got
because
a valid point on that. You got a valid point about using AI. I use other strategies too. Like, I'm a Christian guy. I ask women, "Are you willing to go to church? Are you willing to study the Word of God?" That's a big indicator, right? On if you can get onto the same, even the spiritual. Like, if you can get your spirits to link, then I know everything else can follow. But if you can't even spiritually link with that woman, I don't know. It's only a matter of time that it's just not gonna work. But I gotta get on going. I just wanted to briefly talk about this conversation based off of the things that I've been seeing.
yeah, it's a good topic. I think you did pretty well. You might want to write up a prompt. Think of a catchy prompt though to put on there. Type up there to help the women sort of. You have to do a little bit of clickbait, and kind of grab their attention.
Oh, I just had that. I
Yeah.
thought the image was enough.
The image is good, but boy, people wait for those words and they want something that's going to piss them off. And then when you get them and say, "Well, look, correct me if I'm wrong," correct me. All right, brother, I'll holler at you, man.
Yeah, I appreciate those that participated for today. I will be putting up some playbacks later on, and I think I might run it back again. Have a great one. Burn rubber, not your soul.